Howdy guys, lovely to see you all again. How crazy is Kanye West on Ellen? Ridiculous. Anyway, enough social commentary. Let's take a look at the solo from Welcome Home by Coheed And Cambria. This is absolute win. Thank you, Nick DeMarco, for making me do this. Let's take a look. What a delicious solo. But before we get too excited, we need to talk about the tuning, which is E flat standard, which goes E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and another E flat. So get yourself in tune and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I want to start off with a pull off from 15 to 12 on the second string and then jump to 14 of the third. I'm going to do that phrase 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the end of that, I've got a bend from 15. I'm going to do the group of 6 and then that bend. And I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got a bend from 17 to the first string. I'm bending it up. And then I want to play 17, 15 as just regular notes on the first string. I've got a very similar idea again. I'm going to bend 15 of the first string, then bring it down and play a regular 15. And then at the end of that, I'm playing 17 of the second string twice. Okay, let's try it from the start and then we'll add the next chunk. And I work into this next phrase, which is a little bit on the Hotel California side. I'm doing a slide into 16 of the third string with my middle, then playing 15, 17. And then I want to bend 17 of the second string, then hit 17 of the first string twice. And that kind of timing we're going to carry over the next few chunks. So I'm going to do that bend idea, and then I'm going to play 14, 15, 15 on the first. Then I play 12, 14, 14 twice, still on the first string. And then I'm going to play 15 of the second string to 12 of the first twice. So we got... And at the end of that chunk, I work into this phrase, which is nice and delicious. I'm playing 13 of the second string, and then I want to play 12 as a hammer-on into a pull-off going 12, 13, 12. At the end of that, I'm going to play 14 of the third. So all together. Okay, we'll do the last chunk and then we'll put the whole thing together from the start. The last group works into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm playing 12 of the second and rolling into 12 of the third. Then I'm going to play 14 of the third and then 11, 12 on the second. That's a cheeky flat 5 from the blues scale. At the end of that, I've got a slide from 12 to 14 on the fourth. And that's the whole section. So let's try and do it relatively slowly from the start, and then we'll do it again even slower with some temps. One more time, some tabs. Alright, let's have a look at the second section. I want to start off with a little sweep going from 14 of the third, and then I've got 12 of the second and the first, so I'm just rolling the flat pointer there. Kind of a sussy thing. Then after that, I'm bending 15 of the second string. Now I want to bend the 15 of the second string again for the start of my next phrase. So I'm going to bend it up and back, and then pull off to the 12. And I'm going to jump to 15 of the third string, which is going to give us that sort of cheeky flat 5 note. At the end of that, I'm hammering from 12 to 13 on the second string. All together. And I work into this phrase. Alright, so I've got a hammer on, playing 15 to 17 on the second string. Then I do 2 bends, 1 up and then 1 up and back. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I work into this sort of mini arpeggio. I've got a bit of a squeal at the top of that. I've got a hammer on from 12 to 14 on the 4th string. Then I'm going to play 12 of the 3rd, and then do a light harmonic on 13 of the 2nd string. Let's have a look at the start. Well, let's look at the whole section from the start. Okay, then I work into this phrase. So kind of working with arpeggios. The weird thing about the start of this one is that I'm doing a hammer on from open to 16 on the 3rd string. I'm going to hammer to 16 and then pull off to 12 and then play 14 of the 4th string, and it's going to give us sort of an E minor arpeggio. At the end of that, what I've got here is a hammer on going 11, 14, pulling off back to 11 on the 3rd, and then I resolve that on 12 of the 4th and then slide to oblivion. So I've sort of got an E minor and a D major arpeggio. Alright, then we work into the last chunk and then we'll put it all together. So I work into this. There's a bit of a break from that arpeggio as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a hammer on from 4 to 5 on the 4th string and then pull off from 7 to 5 on the 5th. Okay, then after that we're working with this phrase. So what I'm doing at the end is I'm playing 7 of the 5th and then 4, 5, 4 after that. And then finishing that off by just playing 7, 5 on the 5th string again. So we'll go from the hammer pull-off phrase. And that's the whole section. Let's take it right back to the sweep. We'll do it relatively slowly and then again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the third section. I'm going to start off with some sexy legato. Let's slow that down. I'm hammering 7, 8, 10 on the 2nd string. There's 3 notes there, and I want to get a 7-note pattern on the 1st string. So we'll go through it slowly. I want to play 7, 8, 10, and then roll that backwards. And then I'm going to do a quick hammer again from 8 back to 7 as a pull-off. So we should have 7 notes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, at the end of that I want to work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 10 of the 2nd string, 7 of the 1st, and then back to the 10 again. And then after that, I'm going to play 8 of the 2nd string and then do a hammer on pull off, 7, 8, 7. And then I just hit that 7 again. So let's have a look at what we've got thus far, a little bit slower. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I'm working to the next phrase, which is relatively simple. It's just the same thing twice. Just just a little bend from 9 of the 3rd string and jumping to 9 of the 4th. And as I said, it's the same thing twice. After that, I work into this phrase. So let's take that slowly. I'm going to bend 17 of the 1st string and then just play 17, 15 as regular notes. And then these 2 pull-off phrases are exactly the same, just on different strings. So what I've got there is a quick pull-off from 17 to 15 on the 1st, and then I'm playing 17 of the 2nd string twice. Then I do the similar idea, but I'm pulling 17 to 15 off on the 2nd and using my middle finger to play 16 of the 3rd string twice. So we've got, to finish that chunk off, I'm just going to play 16, 14 as regular notes. So all together, hopefully that's making sense. Okay, after that I work into this octave riff, which kind of reminds me a little bit of the middle section of the Enter Sandman solo when Kirk's doing those sliding octaves. So what I've got here, kind of like that. My point is, if we look at it closely, we're going to be doing a slide from 7 to 9 with this octave shape. So I'm playing 7 of the 5th and 9 of the 3rd. When I slide over, I'm going to do a forward back strum. We kind of want to keep that groove up. So the next one, we're going to take the octave from 9, slide it to 10, hit it 2 more times when we get there. At the end of that, I'm going to slide from 10 to 12. I'm going to do the same thing again, and then I go. So what I've got at the end, I was just doing 2 plucks. 1 pluck of the 12, and then 1 pluck of the 14 octave. All together. That's that whole chunk done. So let's try and put it together from the legato at the beginning. We'll take it relatively slowly, and then do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, let's have a look at the 4th section. This is quite erotic, I'm warning you in advance. The first run starts from 11 of the 6th string. I'm going to go 11, 12, and I'm going to play 10, 12, 12 on the 5th, and I'm going to play 10 of the 4th there. That's the one. And then at the end of that, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 8, 9, 9 on the 3rd, but I'm adding a cheeky pinch harmonic on the 2nd 9. Okay, so all together. At the end of that, I've got a quick pull off from 8 to open, and then I just play 8 again, and that was on the 3rd. Cool. So let's work into the next chunk now. I'll work into this. Alright, so I'm playing 4 of the 3rd string twice. The second time I hit it, I'm going to do a hammer-on 4-5-4 into a pull-off. Then I'm going to play 7 of the 4th, and then 4 of the 3rd again. At the end of that, I'm doing a pull-off from 7 to 5, and then hammering back to 7 on the 4th string. So all together. At the end of that, what I'm doing here is 2 bends from 7 of the 4th. Then I bring it back to its rest position and pull off to 5, and then jump to 7 of the 4th. At the end of that, I've got a hammer on into a pull off, going 5, 7, 5 on the 4th string. So that whole little chunk. Let's go from the start of that little group now, from 4 of the 3rd string. I'll play it a bit slower. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then I work into this little arpeggio phrase. Let's slow that down. It's basically a bit of a minor 7th 5. I'm starting off with an open note that hammers 7, 9 on the 3rd. And then I'm playing 8 of the 2nd and 7 of the 1st. I've I've sort of found that it's a little bit too slow to sweep, so alternate picking this does feel better for me, but you can decide what you want to do. At the end of that, I'm going to work my way back up from 7 of the first to 8 of the second to 9 of the third. At the end of that, cheeky 10 of the second string. At the end of that, so what I want to do here is I'm going to go 8, 10, and then bend the 10. Then I play 10 of the first. Then I want to play 10 of the second string and bend it down. Okay, then at the end of that, let's slow down this last chunk. I'm going to play 8 to 7 twice on the second string. Then I'm going to play 9 of the third. Then I've got to hammer on into a pull off, going 7, 8, 7, and then I slide to 3. And then I pull off to the open note. So let's go from the 8, 7, 8 the first time when we were picking everything, and then into the slidey group. Okay, pretty epic section. Let's go back to that run from 11 of the 6th string. We'll take it relatively slowly and then do it again with some tabs. One more silence and tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the 5th section. This is not too difficult, but some of the shapes are a little bit awkward. So what I want to do is get this weird chord shape happening. I'm going to play 4 of the 3rd, and then a flat finger covering 5 of the 1st and the 2nd string. I watched some videos of them playing it, and this seemed to be what he was doing. So what I've got here, while that's going, we can have all of our pull-offs happening there. So 4 of the 3rd and 5 of the 2nd and the 1st string. I'm going to start off by playing the 3rd string, and then I'm going to do a pull-off from 7 to 5 on the 2nd, and then I want to play 4 of the 3rd again. So we're going to go similar idea now, but from 8 to 5 on the 2nd, and then what I do here, so I'm going to do a pull-off from 7 to 5, and then we're going to go back to that 3rd string, but from the 1st string now. The same idea, 8 to 5 on the 1st, and then do it again from 7 to 5. So all together, at the end of that, I'm going to do a pull off from 8 to 5 again on the 2nd string, cheeky in between note, and then finish that on 7 of the 2nd string. So all together we should have this. You'll notice that I always come back to that sort of pedal note. The next group is exactly the same, but my chord now is a full flat finger covering all of 5 from the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string. So all of the notes in between are exactly the same. So keeping in mind that we're going from 5 of the 3rd string, that's going to be in our in-between note. We're going to go 7, 5, 8, 5 on the 2nd, and then I'm going to go 7, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5 again on the 1st. And then once again, 8, 5 on the 2nd and resolving to the 7. So back to back. The next one is a little bit different now. I'm going to start with my middle on 7 of the 3rd, and then I'm going to have my ring on 7 of the 2nd, so I can pull off to the pointer here. This one's a little bit different. So I'm going to start off by playing 7 of the 3rd, pulling off 7 to 5 on the 2nd string, turning to my root note again, and then pulling off 8 to 5, return to the root note, and then I go to the 1st string, and this is going to go 7, 5, and then 8 to 5, obviously ending with that note on every group. Now this one, pretty annoying to play. I'm going to go from 10 to 5, in between note, and I'm going to go from 8 to 5 again. So all together, and then the last note is 7 of the 1st string. So let's try and join all 3 groups together now. cool. There's one more little bit at the end now. This is pretty fun. I'm going to have this chord shape now. I'm going to play 3 of the first 2 strings with my pointer, and then my middle's going to hit 4 of the third, and that's sort of going to work, help us be in position for the rest of this phrase. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to play 4 of the third string to start, and then I'm going to do a pull off from 5 to 3 on the second string, and return to my root note from 4 of the third. And I go back to that high note, which is on the 3rd fret of the first string, and my pointer is just doing that from the flat finger. I'm going to repeat that exact same phrase again. It's exactly the same thing 3 times, actually. At the end of the third group, I'm going to play 5 of the 5th. So we're going to have a starting note on 4 of the third string, and the same phrase 3 times, and then resolve that on 5 of the 5th. So that's the whole 5th section. Let's go through it relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright, let's have a look at the last section. I want to start from 7 of the 5th string, and then I'm going to play 9, 7, 5 on the 4th. If you want to chuck some cheeky slides in there for expression, go for it. Then I'm going to go from 3 of the 5th, and I'm going to slide into 10 of the 4th, and then play 9, 7. Okay, the next group, pretty meat and veg, I'm going to play 5 of the 5th string, and then 7, 5, 4 on the 4th. So let's put that all together. Then I want to resolve that to 7 on the 5th, and then I work into this phrase. I'm going to play 7, 9 on the 4th, and then 7 of the 3rd, and then a bend up and back on 9 of the 3rd. And that's the whole first half of this. The second part of this section is pretty much exactly the same, we just won't have a fill. So we'll hold that 7, and then after that it's pretty much just looping between having no fill and just the held note. So that'll pretty much get you to the end of the song. So we'll do one of each. I'll just end the second group on the held note, and then we'll do the whole thing again with some tabs. Again without a fill. One more time with some tabs. And that was the solo from Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe, and there will be more delicious solos and zany adventures to come. Take care.